How's it going? Let me draw your attention for a little bit. We're going to go over how to draw a character I grew up with, and I don't know if you're going to know who this is, but it is Smiley. It is a button that was on a character called Evil Ernie in Chaos Comics. I know the comics are still around, but I don't really know how popular they are. But I'm going to go over how to draw Smiley. And I'm going to be using this straight up Crayola brand marker. So we're going to go through that step by step for beginners. And you're going to kind of learn a good bit about structure because it's a really simple design. And I think it's really cool and you can apply this to a lot of other different designs. So stick around and let's get going. So I'm going to start with the hardest part of the entire drawing. And that is going to be the circle. Am I going to start with that? No. So let's start with the roundness of the eye. It's going to be one eye. His eyes are basically marbles. And I think they need to be closer, so I'm going to make them a little bit larger. And they're going to be black, so you can kind of mess around with where the highlights are going to be. So, like two marbles next to each other. Mainly keep kind of on that course of thinking. And then I'm going to draw the angry symbol. And I'm gonna draw it kind of like an apostrophe shape and then have it flare out. So just think of it, it's kind of thick there. Next, I'm gonna go into the actual smile. The smile goes way up. Like way up. And I'm gonna think of that smile a little bit geometrically. So I'm not going to draw it entirely like kind of a round smile. I am going to just kind of draw it. There are a little bit of angles in there. And the angularness can help you kind of figure out your way. Just kind of think of it as like a banana shape almost. It's a little bit bigger here than it is there. I kind of like that though. It's going to be a little bit asymmetrical. And then I'm going to go over here for the parting of the teeth. And I'm going to put the part in the actual teeth. And it's really just as easy as that. Just kind of remember that. And now I'm going to do what is perceived the hardest part of the whole drawing. I have to do as decent of a circle as I can around the character. And it doesn't have to be perfect at all. Sorry about that, the computer's making weird noises. And you can also adjust it. So I'm going to create a bit of a thick line out here. That's kind of a little bit of a trick there, is you create as decent a circle as you can, and then you thicken the line, and that'll give you some leeway in terms of how you kind of control the line. So this line's thicker over here. This is a little bit lighter. I'm going to make this a little bit thicker, and you can kind of move it in a direction as well. So I'll thicken the outside of this. So then he also has the Jolly Rogers kind of bone symbol, like in the back. He has bone fragments sticking out. So I'm going to draw that on all sides. Thinking of that kind of like the edge of a bone is really just kind of, think of like a dog bone. Maybe drawing a little bit of extra on there so it won't be quite as cartoony, although he is pretty cartoony himself. This is probably one of the very first things I kind of messed around with when I messed around with drawing when I was younger. I was very fascinated with this, and I went to go see the artist. I can't remember who it was. I think Polito? I can't remember if it was Polito. I can't remember the name of who drew Evil Ernie and Lady Death at the time. But I went to go see that to a comic store where they were signing, and I was really looking forward to it. And yeah, it was great. It went awesome. I still have those signatures as well. I don't remember how old I was. Drawing a little bit of the bone, kind of shadow as well to give it some form, and putting a small bit of lines at the top, and that should create dimension there, so it's a little bit beyond just a cartoonish. Oh, I forgot, there's a little bit of shadow on the actual bone here, going down. And you're gonna throw little nicks and scratches, and that seems to create detail when you do that. That is the detail, and that pushes it a little bit beyond what would be like a normal kind of sticker for the most part. So you just do that with anything. Throw nicks and scratches on there. Obviously, if it's called for, do that. When you do that, it just seems to, like I said, bring stuff more to life. And it looks like there's more work into it, and there is more work into it. But there's more care taken into it when you do that. Same thing with around the edges of the mouth. And I'm literally using a magic marker, guys, so it's not like anything amazing or special, like anything different they have to do. I'm going to stick the eyebrows out a little bit more. I'm going to stick out. Kind of break the line of the circle there. And try that with anything else, really. When you guys are drawing your regular characters, or whatever it is that you do, try drawing little nicks and scratches here and there. You don't have to draw it all over. If you do it all over, it'll look like a rash. But if you do it a little bit, it can really bring kind of an extra flavor to your drawing that you never imagined you could. And so you just kind of do that all over. Again, not totally all over, but I said don't do it all over. Just do it a little bit on and off. That is it, guys. That is it. I really hope you enjoyed that. I hope you enjoyed watching this. If you did enjoy this little character, go look him up. It's on Evil Ernie. I think it's Smiley on Evil Ernie with Chaos Comics. One of the very first comics I ever read. So pretty big influence on me as a kid. So thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. Yeah, say hi to me. Don't forget the Patreon I have. I have a Patreon that if you do want to get closer to me and you like my art and you do want to like reach out or get benefits, for $1 you can see, for getting closer to me for $1 you can see all the art I never post anywhere. I post it on my Patreon and you can see it for $1. You can see all that. And then for $2, there's this awesome it's awesome, but I really wanted to kind of give back to the community of artists, where there's a lot of people that don't know how to draw a skull. So I made an ebook, and it's entirely on drawing a skull. I was gonna make it a product, but then I just straight up thought it'd be easier just to give it out. If anybody donates $2 to my Patreon, you'll get that immediately, because the skull is one of the most important things you can draw for portraits, for anything, because you wanna, like, if you look at your face, like your chin, your brow line, the top of your nose, that's all dictated by the shape of your skull. And you can tell when someone has gone into portraiture without learning the skull. And I've seen that. So my goal was to eliminate that issue. So I created this, like I said, it's about 7 pages, 8 pages on common issues when people learn the skull just from like random videos. And just kind of how to solve that. And also, it's really just like a how-to, but I do talk about those issues. So thank you so much. I do appreciate it. I'll leave the link to that below. There's also a lot more benefits to even the benefit to the highest benefit, meaning show me your work and I will correct it, and that will really help you out. But anyways, enough of that. That's pretty much it. I will talk to you guys in the next video. Check that link out if you're interested, and I'll talk to you in the next video.